Hi, good morning all you lovely people. Welcome back to the Grumpy Old Git on a Friday morning that's quite dull out there, and we're on the third day of the promise of heavy rain and bad weather that's going to cause destruction and mayhem everywhere, although we haven't seen any of it yet here. But today, well, it's the day we're going to find out just how the courts are going to deal with this person. Yep, remember him? Mr. Ricky Jones, or to be more precise, Councillor Ricky Jones. And a lefty one at that. Now, he's the one that said the right-wing protesters should be done away with and have their throats cut. Remember the video? Yeah. Well, he's up in Crown Court today. I believe it's for sentencing, although I haven't heard anything about the case. I believe that today is sentencing day. What the charges are, I don't quite know. But some are saying, should it be enticing murder? I mean, that's a serious offence, but that's what he did. And the evidence is there. The video is the evidence. He can't get away with that. I mean, well, but with the corrupt courts nowadays, I wouldn't really bet on that being the case. Don't forget he's got very close connections with some very corrupt, evil people. And bear in mind that people have been given prison sentences for up to 2 years for just shouting at police dogs or shouting at the police at protests or riots, or typing hurty words on the internet even, against the government or whatever. It's going to be very interesting how they handle this. And again, people have been sentenced just for shouting support for people, as I said. But then you get this woman. Oh, she was clapping and jeering as he was saying it. She is a well-known left-wing activist. She was there clapping beside him as he was saying, cut their throats. But apparently that's all right because she's not facing prosecution, apparently. So there's a very, very open example of the two-tier justice system that the government say doesn't exist. Yeah, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know what time the sentences is. I haven't looked it up yet, but it will be after I've posted this video, that's for sure. But in other news, and quite a good bit of news in one way, the Home Office have announced that they're pulling out of RAF Scampton. The home of the famous Dambusters squadron. And they issued this statement, basically. This is from a government website, by the way. This isn't fictional. It would have cost 122 million over the next 5 years. Well, that's quite a conservative estimate on my accounts, really, but they've already spent half of it, 60 million. But they're saying it's no longer going to turn out as value for money. They say they listen to the local community. Yeah, right. Listen to the local community about their concerns. The fact that there's been protesters there for months. the fact that the council rejected the plans that they had in place for there, and we're also told to stop work on the site by the council, which was advice that the Home Office totally fucking ignored, as they do about most things. But it will be sold off. Now, some of it was earmarked for industrial buildings anyway, but it will probably be sold off to investors for development of industry, or could even get planning permission, as they're making that easier now, for housing. Yeah, I wonder who would end up in the housing if they did. But that's assuming they can find somebody to build the bastards for them, with companies now pulling out building houses because it's just not financially viable under the conditions that the government want them built. And the government are only trying to get the private housing companies, private building companies, to build the houses because the councils can't afford to, and the government can't afford to. And again, if the housing regulations are dropped, they will be substandard, I expect, because they'll be rushed, and they can't blame themselves like they can for other projects, can they? They'll have somebody to blame when they start to fall apart. But anyway, guys, I'll leave it there for today. It's a Friday. Mrs. W still hasn't quite made up her mind about a live tonight yet. I think it is, depends on how the day goes, but at the moment there should be some form of live from 7 o'clock. Usual zero tolerance applies, as always. It's just a quiet little live. If you want to come and join in, feel absolutely free. But until then, have a lovely weekend, no matter what the weather throws at you. Please don't get too stressed out over everything. I've had a lot of communications from people that are getting down and getting depressed over everything that's going on. It's out of my hands, but please don't get too down about it. But until the next one, as always, stay safe, stay strong, and stay absolutely free. Got it right today. Respects, people.